Hey, what's good guys? This is Nightwing2303 from WearTesters.com. Big thank you to everybody that tunes in and watches every video. I super appreciate it. And the reason why we're here today is because of these guys right here. These are my old Eastbay magazines. There's 5 of them. Big shout out to my friend Andy, by the way. He's the one that gave me these. I used to have all of these. I used to collect them. This is actually how I learned most of what I know about shoes and tech specs, like the specs that are inside of these old sneakers. The other way that I found out was that I would read these things and be curious as to like what they actually were, because back in the day Zoom Air was called, shoot, what was it called? It was called like Tensile Air or something like that. Man, I'm pretty sure it's in here, but anyways, they were listed all in these magazines, and I couldn't afford these shoes, but I wanted to try them, you know what I mean? Like I was so infatuated with the Air unit, like the visible air bag, that I just couldn't like stay away from it. Like it literally drove me insane how much I was just into them. Like I wanted to know what it felt like and stuff, and again, I couldn't afford it, so you know, reading these things, I would learn about it, and then I'd go to stores where you didn't have to ask employees to bring shoes out to you, like the big box stores where they're just kind of out and about, kind of like what Sports Authority is out of business, but Dick's and stuff like that. Like shoe stores like that is where I'd go. Those stores actually used to carry like popular signature models at the time. That's how I'd feel what the actual tech was like, until I was finally able to get my own pairs and things like that when I was a little bit older. So that's kind of like a quick gist of me and why I'm into what I'm into and how I know what I know. I just would always read these. Like I'd be in school and reading these instead of reading my actual work, which is not a good thing, but you know, that's for a different day. But anyways, you guys, in my last video for the Air Shake and Destruct, I had mentioned, because I brought out one of these and mentioned that, you know, maybe if you guys wanted, we can go through these, and everybody was pretty much in agreement that they wanted to. So what I have here are 5 magazines. They're all from 1997, I believe. Like these 3 are from 97, this one's from 98, and then this one's from 2006. So I'm gonna do one per video, or one video on each magazine, because I can legit like talk to you about sneakers all day long, maybe multiple days in a row, which is pretty sad, but it's just what I'm into. This and action figures and nerd, you know what I mean? Like that's just what I'm into. So we're gonna go with what I believe is in order. They don't have actual dates. All they have are kind of like years. So it just says 1997, but there's one Eastbay magazine per month. So each of those months that I have here, like each of these 3 from 97, they're all different. Like some stuff gets discounted. It's really interesting to look back on it. So we're gonna go time travel basically, and we're going to start off with this one. It's 1997, and I believe it was early 1997 because it talks about a release that was coming up in March, which means it was probably that first quarter. And then number 2 here was the middle, and then number 3 was actually right afterwards, like after the summer, because some of those early models that were in the first magazine are discounted in this one. And it's again really interesting to see, I'm talking too much, I'm sorry, but it's really interesting to see how like shoes were back then, because nowadays everybody's like, oh man, this is sitting, like it's not popular, nobody wants it anymore, which is not what we thought when we were growing up. We like couldn't wait till those things went on sale, because that's when we were able to actually finally afford the damn shoes. So we're gonna go through them. This is just, you know, video 1. Thank you guys for watching. I'm not gonna repeat myself in each of these videos to intro what I'm doing. I'm just gonna jump right into them. So, you know, if you're watching this first one, great. If you're not, then I'm sorry. You might get a little bit confused, but you can always go back to the first one, which is this one, which you wouldn't even hear that message unless I said it. Whatever, man. I'm tired, dude. We're gonna get into it. All right, guys, so here we go. This stuff, man, like I said, this is just, to me, this is awesome. Even these shoes, I'm not even into baseball, but even these shoes are dope. This is the old Griffey Max. A lot of people were into trainers back then, like turf shoes. I always thought it was really interesting that they had cleated versions, both spikes and plastic. And then of course they had the pair that you could actually rock off the field and all that stuff. And then there was even a premium one, which was crazy. This is actually the metal one. Also back in the day, Eastbay used to just like talk over, not in this section. Actually, let's go ahead and fast forward into it. Oh, before we do that, look at these. The Air Nomos, those retroed not too long ago. But the running shoes, man, they used to say whether or not they were cushioned, lightweight. These ones were meant for support, cushion support. So this kind of stuff, like I just always found it to be very interesting. I would literally read through all of these magazines, every page of them. And then some of the shoes, they were even like highlighted where the cushion was. So right here, it's in the heel. And then for this shoe right here, it's in the heel and forefoot. And I just always found it to be super interesting. And then you can see what ASIC's gel cushioning system is like. So when you're sitting there being like, yo, how do you even know about Asics gel and all that stuff, even though you don't really rock Asics and stuff? Like I said, I used to read the hell out of these magazines front to back, and they would teach you all about it, man. Saucony's grid system, like this stuff to me was just always intriguing, and so that's what it is. And check this out, this is the Grid Shadow 2. Regular price was $84. This is not too far off from what they actually retail for still nowadays. So this is why I feel like inflation is bullshit. I just think that, you know, Jordan and Nike know that they have the products that everybody wants, so they charge accordingly. And you don't have to, because I think Saucony's retail for like $110, $120 now. Some of them are even $80 or a little bit less. So I think inflation is just a different way to fool consumers into buying into quote unquote hype. Now this is the turf training section. Who remembers these, man? Like, I remember just seeing these bottoms here and being like, yo, those are crazy. These just retroed and they went straight to outlets, man. Nobody was interested in these joints, but back in the day, everybody had a pair, except for me, because, you know, I couldn't afford it. But check that out, man. Original price tags, all that stuff. I wanted these so badly, dude. The ES22s, when they retroed these, I was so stoked, and then when I tried them on, they just didn't feel like the original, so I never ended up buying them. But check that though, 109 bucks for a Reebok signature shoe. Nowadays, you can't even like these things, like most people don't even buy them. Like I said, when these retroed, nobody really bought them. Like you can find them for like 30 bucks at some places. But back in the day, back in even like the mid 90s like this, like Reebok was popping. And then we get into the basketball section. This is where I love this stuff. I had these because my brother actually gave these to me the same time that he gave me his Air Jordan 11s that were like practically brand new. And at that time it was like 1996 or 97, something like that. So like the Jordan 12 was already out, but he gave me the 11. So when I wore those to school that following year, everybody was like, oh, how'd you still get those so new? And that's how. But he gave me these, and these were super, super comfortable, man. Like they had React Juice in the heel, which is like a liquid pad, and it eventually got really hard and crack and broke up and stuff, but before then they were super nice, and they were really nice leather. What a great shoe, man. Converse, I wish that Converse would bring some of these back. Like these are so cool, you know. Like Dennis Rodman used to wear these when he signed with Converse, and that was before he got his own shoe. You can see that they came out in team colorways. Like Converse fell off big time as soon as Nike bought them. It's like Nike bought them just to throw their heritage away, which is pretty sad. So hopefully Nike brings things back to the way that it used to be with that brand. But then we got these guys right here, Penny Hardaways. As you guys know, the Penny 2 is one of my favorite shoes of all time. They're actually sitting right above me right here, so I can't wear this pair no more. They're talking to me. I'll fix them eventually, but I love these. My friends would have smaller feet than me, and they'd get them in kid sizes, and I was in men's sizes at the time, which is funny because my foot stopped growing. So they all have bigger size feet than I do now, but they were able to get the kid size shoes, and so because their parents would get them in kid sizes, they were like half the price than what they were originally, which is right here is $139. So they'd get them for like 60, 70 bucks. So they'd get like every colorway, multiple pairs of shoes. I was always hella jealous, and I was sitting there rocking my Payless shoes, and these up-tempos, man, these are fire, dude. Like they retroed these too. They never retroed that colorway though. I don't think they should, because that colorway is kind of weird, at least right now, because it's so bulky and everything. Like a lot of people probably wouldn't like it, but I would not mind seeing these back again. And then I had those, I said that before in the Air Shake and Destruct video, and everybody would make fun of me because they look like some generic ass Nikes, which they were, but they were cheap. I think they were like, right here is 69 bucks, but I think that my mom found them for like $35 at JCPenney. These are the old Jason Kids. These were sick. And then these were kind of like the takedown of those. So they had similar design features, similar design elements, and everybody had this pair, man. And I was just super jealous. These right here though, this is a real obscure shoe, the Flight Max Mid, and these had no cushion in the heel, but they had all of the forefoot cushion there. Most shoes like these guys, they had heel cushion, no forefoot cushion, and these were the opposite. And I was always just really, really intrigued by these. A friend of mine actually had these, and he used to hoop in them all the time. And I was always just like, man, what does that feel like in the toe? So I just love this stuff, man. And then you can see the Shake and Destruct right here. And something that I find interesting is that in one of these magazines that we'll look at further, it had this shoe that Rodman wore, and it also had his Converse signature shoe in the same magazine, which was pretty crazy. This is back when they used to make women's shoes for like Cheryl Swoops and some of those WNBA players. The old Barclays, again, I had these back in same year that I had these up here, and I got those at JCPenney too. I think it was like a buy one get one half half off type sale. I can't remember honestly, but I wore these at one of my basketball camps, and then I popped the heel air unit because I had trashed the shoe and I wanted to get a new shoe, and I can't remember what the new shoe was, but it wasn't as cool as these, so I wish that I had just gotten, like, I wish that I never popped those because they were dope. Got some old Forces right here, and this is when stuff started getting really cool with footwear, because this was back in the days Nike ID. Check this out, dude. You can get your favorite college players, or not players, but your favorite college teams on the straps, but then if you played team basketball, everybody wore these, whether they were the high tops or the mid top ones, and they had all of these different colors that were convertible straps. It showed you how to put it on. It was super simple. You didn't even need these instructions, but it's cool to look at anyways. But yeah, man, 130 for these. They had heel Air Max in there. Like, this was such a cool freaking concept. Like, I wish that they would bring this back. They would save so much money doing this too, because that would be like your accessory for the team shoe. You wouldn't have like produced however many multicolored shoes, you know what I mean? Like, there's always like an actual shoe in this color nowadays, whereas this, they just made extra straps and that was it, and you just put them on your black or white base shoe. Got some early pennies right here. Penny rocked these ones right there in the Olympics. This was the takedown model of the Air More Up Tempo. It was called the Air Much Up Tempo. They were about 90 bucks. The other ones were a little bit more expensive, and these ones were made for guards, so they only had heel cushion and no cushion in the forefoot. Air Flight Mids. A lot of people like these as well. Flights were super popular, Flights and Forces. Now this shoe right here, the Air Up High, I love the Air Up, but I didn't even know that they had a high, so I lived through this and I don't even remember it. So this was an interesting one, and they came with a strap. I just thought that was pretty crazy. I don't remember what these are either. I do remember those though, the Maestro Mids. This was part of their kind of like their Maestro line Pippen would wear. Not this one, but he'd wear a different shoe. These right here, I had these. I got these from Oshman's for 40 bucks. That's also where I got my very first pair of actual like name brand shoes. It was a different like Nike Air Sonic Flight, like a super old model, and they just happened to have them in my size. But I found these in the back of the paper when we were looking for new shoes. Again, a pair of Nikes. I was on my hunt back then because I really wanted Nikes. And so they were about half off because they're about 90 bucks here. We got them for 40. And I had that exact colorway, man. Like, they were super dope. That was actually my first shoe that I had a visible airbag in it. And I just thought I was the dude. Like, I was like so happy. This colorway, that was my favorite. The white and reds, super clean. And then peep this, man. This is classic right here. Not only is the old Barclays in here, but somehow this is 1997 and this is a 1994 retro too. So this is when retros first started happening. Look at that original price, 109 bucks, and they got dropped down to 70. Man, if I would have known better and to take advantage of this stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, they had stuff would just sit. Like, it wasn't even about popularity. It was just that, you know, money was tight back then. People weren't rich and stuff like they are nowadays, where like they spoil the shit out of their kids. So to have these, a 1994 retro in a 1997 magazine still for sale, I thought that was a trip. And you can also see that they only had like large sizes, size 10, 12, and 13, and then from 10.5 to 13. So it was like whatever was just like left over in their stock. Some more Barclays there. The old Grant Hills, man. These were dope, dude. They got the low tops, they got the mids, the all-stars, the Olympic colorway. Now these guys right here, Reeboks, like I said, Reeboks were popping. These things were super comfortable. Not just these, but these right here. These monsters were ugly as fuck. But when I put these on my feet, because I tried them on at JCPenney, they were crazy comfortable. Look at that hexalite, man. In the toe, the midfoot, and in the heel. And this is real hexalite right here. These weren't just like stuck on there. Like, they actually went through the shoe. So they were super squishy. They felt amazing. The Dunk Mob, like, man, Shaqs back in the day were sick. Look at these weird ass things, man. These are crazy, with laces through the middle with bungee cords on the sides, and then they would like zip down and secure your foot in there. Just really cool stuff. I remember wanting these. These are some of the obscure Adidas models and stuff like that. Like, nobody really wanted these, because back in the day, man, if you wore Adidas, like, you were getting made fun of. It was not like it is today. Adidas is just popping recently, and it's only because they have boosts and they have good designs now, because back then, man, like, these things were boo-boo, dude. Like, look at these. Nobody wants to rock that. Fila had some weird ass shit, though. Look at this stuff, man. And then these guys right here. Somebody was asking me about these on Twitter, and I couldn't remember what the fuck this shoe is called, but there they are, man. The Underglass Mid. Like, these are crazy. This is a top shroud. Your laces were under it. And they even had some stripped down models of the Grant Hill model, which is right here. This shoe is fucking gorgeous. I love this shoe, man. These are so cool. They need to put this back out. Like, they already retroed them, but they only retroed them in like limited quantities. They need to do a full-on retro. Although nobody's interested in Fila's anymore, because Fila started like getting sold at Walmart and stuff like that. So a lot of people don't take this brand seriously anymore, but they had some classics. These especially, I love this shoe. Look at some of the old training equipment. This is all you had to work with back in the day. And this, I never even played with none of this stuff. Like we would just sit there and it was more about repetition than anything else. We wouldn't play with any of these gimmicky items. This is right around when Jordan Brand first started promoting or sponsoring the college teams and stuff. They were starting to branch out to becoming their own brand. See, he's wearing the 12s right there. These things, man, I wanted the Jordan clothes so badly. I couldn't afford none of this stuff. This is back when And One was super hot, dude. Like everybody was rocking And One. What is this guy wearing right here? Is this a clear jumpsuit? Like, are you serious? This is the Reebok Dunk Mob warm-up? What the is this? You look like a rain suit. You can see his legs, dude. Oh man. That's pretty weird, dude. Reebok, that, no wonder you guys went downhill. That's horrible. These are some of the casual shoes at the time. Airwalks were really hot. You can see these old Vans. This is Nike skateboarding right in the beginning stages. The skaters back then hated Nike because it was like selling out and stuff. So they were really rejecting it. Then Nike SB kind of blew up and stuff. You can see these Airwalks. I think I had one of these. I can't remember which one, but they were like some dirty brown ones. And I got them from Payless. And man, I would get made fun of so much when I was younger. So, but it's all good. It's all for building your self-esteem, right? Look at these Skechers and Converses, dude. Bitches actually thought that they were hot with these things, man. Nah, that's like the equivalent of an UGG right now. The Jewel Air Forces, you guys remember those? Those were f***ing sick. They even had jeweled Cholo shoes, man. I know that everybody like these right here, the old Forrest Gumps and stuff, like people hype up over them. Now look at this, 39 bucks and 54 bucks for the leather one. Nobody wanted these, dude. The only people that wore these were Cholos, dude. Like seriously, I'm not even joking. Like if you were a gangbanger, you wore these or you wore the BKs, which were the fake ones, the British Knights. And then these were cool. These had some canvas on them. Anything with a swoosh back then was dope. So if it had a swoosh, it was hot. And this is the kids section, man. The kids had all the heat and none of the stripped down tech like nowadays. Look at this. These are grade school up tempos and they have the air units, dude. Like full length. Like this crazy. They still had the Zoom Air in there. Man, it's crazy, man. Also, going right back real quick. This is what I was talking about. Tensile Air. That's Zoom Air right there. That's what they used to call it. And then air soles were these guys right here. And so it would have the air sole in there and then Tensile Air right there up front. Look at all this stuff. Look at Champion, man. Back in the day, Champion, they made that logo. I love this stuff. Fuck. This is the good old days, man. You got Spreewell up on the Warriors before he choked the coach PJ. You got Mully up here. You got Penny, Reggie, Rodman. You can see the circles. These were not printed on. This is what we used to do when we want shit. We'd circle that joint, man. We'd be like, yo, I want that. And if you were lucky, you got it. But most of us, we didn't get shit. You got Ewing, Jordan, you know, Kemp. Man, shout out to Seattle, dude. Y'all need a basketball team back. And these were the authentic jerseys, man. These joints right here were $100. And then you can get the replica ones for 40. So most of us had these. And if you were balling like that, your parents bought you these. I remember the replica of the pinstripe jersey didn't have the pinstripes on it, man. That shit was fucking funny as hell. I actually still have this jersey, but it's not this one. It's the iron-on ones. Like the same thing with the Jordan. It doesn't have the pinstripes and the white border around it is all yellow, but I still got it. Look at that. Starter jackets. Gosh dang. The 90s were awesome, dude. Well, I take that back. Not everything in the 90s was awesome. Especially this dude, even though he probably thought he was awesome. But look at that shit. Nobody wears their beanies like that. I do not even remember this shit, but they look like something that Glenn Rice used to wear. He used to wear Nautica basketball shoes. If you guys know what Nautica is, it's like a fashionable clothing, and he was signed with them. They actually made basketball shoes back then, and like I said, Glenn Rice used to rock them. And this is back when people wore Air Max runners to actually run in. Look at this. They got them side lacing on the runners too. This is sick, dude. Look at that Zoom Air unit right there. Low profile, lightweight, great cushioning. Why can't we get this in the Kyrie's, dude? Like, you guys made Zoom Air because it was low profile cushioning for guards. So why the hell are you guys taking it out now and putting nothing in there? I know that it's just to save costs, man. Don't bullshit me. I'm not stupid. I'm a smart mother. I've been around. This was made for low profile, lightweight cushioning. Put this back in my shoes and stop charging me $200 for it. And if you got a foot that looks like that, I feel bad for you, bro. KD, I'm looking at you, dog. Well, that's pretty much it. That takes care of the first issue. Again, this is 1997. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for all your support. Let me know what you guys think. Do you remember some of this stuff? For those of you that don't remember it, what do you think about 1997 and some of the kicks that we had back then? So thank you guys once again, and until next time, guys, have a good one.